see you next time.
Good afternoon, I'm Amanda Hall.
And I'm Cal Thompson. Next at noon, devastation from Sandy. We go live to New Jersey to check in again on cleanup efforts.
Plus, a Fort Myers hotel prepared for demolition. We're live as crews begin the work. Katie.
And an approaching cold front is triggering some isolated activity across southwest Florida. I'll let you know if any cooler temperatures are in the forecast coming up next at noon.
Breaking at noon, Penn State's ex-president Graham Spanier is accused of perjury and endangering children in the Jerry Sandusky case. Sandusky is in prison after being convicted of sexually abusing young boys. Pennsylvania's Attorney General will hold a news conference any moment now. We'll have more details on these charges as soon as that press conference starts.
And our other big story today, recovering from Sandy, the Mid-Atlantic is slowly seeing a return to normal.
In fact, LaGuardia Airport reopened today. Renee Marsh is live in Hoboken, New Jersey with the latest there. Renee.
Well, this crowd of people that you see standing right there, they are all hovered around one power strip, which is connected to our live truck. The folks here in Hoboken, New Jersey, they are desperate for electricity. They are still without power, like more than 4 million in the Northeast. And the death toll just keeps on climbing. At least 68 people dead as a result of Sandy. And New York's mayor believes that that number will get even higher. As far as those missing, that number unknown at this point. Reporting live in Hoboken, New Jersey, I'm Renee Marsh. Back to you.
Renee, thank you. We want to take you back to the breaking news in Pennsylvania. The state attorney general's office there speaking on the Jerry Sandusky case and new charges filed against ex-Penn State President Graham Spanier. Let's listen.
In October of 2011, with one count of perjury for making false statements to a grand jury, along with one count each of failure to report suspected child abuse. Since then, the investigation has continued, and in addition to the existing charges, Schultz and Curley are now also charged with criminal conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and endangering the welfare of children. Former Penn State University President Graham Spanier, to whom both Schultz and Curley reported back then, is also charged with 5 counts in connection with his role in the Sandusky investigation, some of which had been requested pursuant to grand jury subpoenas and which was extremely relevant to the ongoing Sandusky investigation.
You are listening to Pennsylvania Attorney General Linda Kelly speaking there about new charges filed in relation to the Jerry Sandusky sex abuse scandal. In this case, it is former Penn State President Graham Spanier along with 2 of his underlings, Timothy Curley and Gary Schultz. All 3 men now facing a total of 5 charges, all facing the same 5 charges, I should say, those being perjury, obstruction, endangering the welfare of children, and conspiracy, among a few others. We're going to be following this very closely and bringing new details as soon as they come in.
We want to change our focus now quickly to the weather. Get you over to Sky Tracker meteorologist Katie Walls. Katie, how are we looking today?
Absolutely great, Amanda. Thanks so much. We start by taking a live look across the Caloosahatchee. When I come back, I'll let you know what's on the backside of that cold front. Back to you.
Katie, thank you. More breaking news this afternoon, this time from Campaign Central here at noon. Week News learning former President Bill Clinton will campaign for President Obama in Fort Myers tomorrow. It's part of a 5-city swing through the Sunshine State. Details on the location and the exact time haven't been released just yet, but of course, as soon as we learn that information, we'll pass it along to you.
And of course, Election Day is fast approaching, and polls show the presidential race as tight as ever. President Obama is back on the trail after spending the last few days dealing, of course, with Hurricane Sandy.
Meanwhile, Mitt Romney is dedicating his whole day to a battleground he wants to win in his win column on Tuesday. Daniel Nottingham reports.
Mitt Romney revved up his attack on President Obama. Election officials say more than 19 million people nationwide have already cast their ballots. At the White House, Danielle Nottingham, Wink News Now.
And First Lady Michelle Obama stumps for her husband in Florida today. She'll have some celebrity help reaching out to voters. Stevie Wonder will perform at her Jacksonville event, while Mark Anthony and Gabrielle Union will speak at the Miami event. The president will be in Fort Lauderdale on Sunday.
We're getting a new look this afternoon at early voting numbers. 2.5 million people have already cast their ballot in Florida alone. A majority of those votes are coming from absentee ballots. The other million votes were early voters in person. If you have an absentee ballot, it must get to the elections office by 7 p.m. next Tuesday. That's the time polls close for election.
All new at noon, crime is down almost 4% in Florida. Twice a year, Governor Rick Scott and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement release a report that compares current crime statistics to the previous year. Alyssa Reitmeyer live in the studio with the new encouraging numbers just released this morning.
Amanda details the crimes reported to the state over the first 6 months of this year and puts them side by side with the numbers from last year. Overall, Florida's crime volume dropped by 3.8% compared to those first 6 months of 2011. That means about 20,000 fewer crimes were reported. Specifically addressing the number of violent crimes, we're talking about murders, robberies, and forcible sex offenses. That number dropped by 5.3%. Now, within that division, getting even more specific, the most notable drop that contributes to the violent crime number was robberies. 8% fewer between January and July of this year versus last year. Domestic violence reports also came in lower. Now, also at today's meeting, Governor Scott took the time to talk about officers killed feloniously. He honored 2 law enforcement officers and 1 correctional officer who died from criminal causes while on duty in the first half of this year. Live in the studio, Alyssa Reitmeyer, Wink News Now.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. It's strong trading starting this morning and is likely linked to a positive unemployment report. Weekly jobless claims dropped once again last week, indicating more modest hiring. First-time applications dropped by 9,000 to 363,000 last week. Tomorrow, we will see the last jobs report before the presidential election.
Now at noon, voting in the aftermath. As states clean up, they look ahead to Election Day. But with many polling places damaged or underwater entirely, voters wonder where they're supposed to go.
A consumer alert if you have a tattoo. What you need to know to make sure you don't get sick and stay safe.
And a Fort Myers hotel gets ready to meet the wrecking ball. We're live at noon as the Clarion is prepped for demolition. Right now at noon, a familiar landmark in South Fort Myers. It's on its way to ground level.
Demo crews are on site at the old Clarion Hotel on US 41, and parts of the property are already torn down. Vanessa Rufus joins us live from the demo site with the details on this major project. Vanessa.
Well, guys, I got to tell you, it is pretty loud here, and you can see obviously behind me. That's because things are underway as we speak. The demo crew, Haunch Industries, says that this is one of the largest demolitions in the county in recent years. They say within 90 days, everything on this piece of property will be leveled anew.
It's pretty interesting to see them, tear down such a big building.
And we are back here to live overhead pictures of that second-story building coming down. After all of this is raised, Haunch says the developer is prepared to break ground for the new restaurant starting January 31st. The biggest part of this project, the demolition of the 5-story tower, is expected to be starting underway probably within the next 3 weeks or so. We're live in South Fort Myers. Vanessa Rufus, Wink News Now.
Progress there. Thank you, Vanessa.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Absolutely.
Speaking of new, we've got a new month starting today.
Yes.
And beautiful weather to kick it off.
Well, below average temperatures. I know a lot of folks, wanted to get into the fall spirit, and Mother Nature certainly bringing that this day out of the next 7.
All right, thank you very much, Katie. Already on a sugar overload from all that Halloween candy? She's shaking her head, yes. One dentist office wants to pay you for your leftovers. Children's Dentistry of Naples is buying back candy at $1 a pound, up to 10 pounds per person. Whatever is collected will go to overseas troops. And the icing on the cake here, the office says donating your extra sweets will save you your health and your teeth.
We found a good way to get rid of the candy, so we're helping parents, helping kids, helping the troops. It's a win-win situation.
Amanda and I have been delving into the candy that's been left in the newsroom. The buyback is happening from 2 to 4 at Children's Dentistry of Naples on Airport Road. The office will also donate $1 to the Golisano Children's Museum for every pound of candy it collects today. And we have a lot in our newsroom.
We do. Very sweet deal. Well, a robbery is certainly a scary experience, but for one bank manager, he knew exactly what he had to do.
Got into the truck, then I grabbed the door. He turned and looked at me, and I had a gun pointed in his face.
Next at noon, how this manager stopped a crook in his tracks.
You're watching Wink News Now. Southwest Florida's news leader. We'll be right back.
A consumer alert at noon for 1 in 5 of us. That's how many people have at least one tattoo.
But now, recent outbreaks of tattoo-related infections are causing concern. Consumer Reports medical experts have some important safety advice to share.
Baby, do you understand me now?
David Beckham boldly flaunts his tattoos in this H&M commercial.
Or that down the line you're going to regret.
By the way, if you see a sign of a rash or infection near or around your new tattoo, see a doctor. You can find more information about safer tattoo practices on our website. Just go to winknews.com and click on Hot Links. You will also want to tune in later today because all new at 5 o'clock, I have tips that could save you time, money, and a headache as we head into the holiday shopping season. I'll even show you some of the best websites for shopping so you don't waste your money. Catch that report coming up later today only on Wink News at 5 o'clock.
With cooler weather on the way and the kids already in school, head lice could be soon to follow.
But is there an effective way to put an end to the bugs? Ahead in our second half hour, a look at doctors' latest recommendations.
Plus, cleanup from Sandy could play a factor in Election Day. What will the Northeast do about damaged polling places? We take a look at voting efforts next. We continue to follow breaking news out of Pennsylvania at this hour.
There are new charges today in the Penn State child sex abuse case, this time against ex-university president Graham Spanier. Live pictures from Pennsylvania this hour at a press conference that is wrapping up. Today, Spanier was charged with several counts, including perjury, conspiracy, and endangering the welfare of children for his possible role in a cover-up of the Jerry Sandusky scandal. Last year, Spanier was forced to resign from Penn State after 16 years as the university's president.
And good Thursday afternoon. I want to start by taking a... When I come back, I'll let you know more about the cold front and what your weekend forecast holds.
Now at noon, we continue to follow the devastation left behind by Sandy. As cities and states clean up, there's another issue on the minds of many. Election Day just 5 days away.
For those affected by the storm, where to vote could now be a major concern. Joe Johns takes a look at what's being done to get things back to normal.
The states hardest hit by Superstorm Sandy, New York and New Jersey, are the most likely to face the biggest difficulties. The storm did not slow down the high turnout the state has seen throughout the early voting period.
Joe Johns with that story again. All indications right now is that all states impacted by the storm will hold some type of election on Tuesday.
Also making national headlines here at noon, another desert shooting in Arizona. Right now, the Border Patrol confirms they are searching for suspects after a man was shot with an automatic weapon outside of Maricopa. While Maricopa is not directly along the border, patrol agents responded because the area is well known for drug smuggling. The victim called 911 after he was shot by several men. Sheriff's officials say they are looking for up to 5 suspects. The Boy Scouts of America are taking a stand against child sexual abuse. The organization hosts an event in Atlanta today to discuss ways to prevent abuse. This meeting also comes just 2 weeks after the Scouts released over thousands of secret files on over 1,000 alleged pedophiles. Another topic for discussion, the growing threat of online predators.
A derailed rail car near Louisville, Kentucky is causing problems for residents. More than 1,000 people were ordered to remain indoors as emergency crews responded to a chemical fire. The fire started while workers were using a welder to separate the train cars that derailed. 3 workers were sent to the hospital. 2 are in critical condition. And officials now expect that blaze to burn throughout the day.
There is a mystery this afternoon in California. Everyone is looking for the winner of a $23 million lottery jackpot. The ticket was purchased in Palmdale but hasn't been claimed yet. Lottery officials even believe a woman may be the winner, but warn she has less than a month now to claim the prize. Rihanna is getting top dollar is betting top dollar her fans will pay anything for a limited edition of her newest album. The new CD, Unapologetic, costs $250. It even comes in a Diamonds Executive Platinum box and includes a 40-page custom notebook containing lyrics and notes, a handwritten note to fans, a t-shirt, a USB drive, a Viewmaster featuring 3D images of Rihanna, and a few other items. Just keeps adding up. The album, by the way, will be released on November 19th.
So we will see.
Yes.
Now at noon, stopping a robbery. Forget waiting for the police. One bank manager took matters into his own hands. How he ended up holding the gun.
Plus, one explosive Halloween news segment. We'll show you how a pumpkin became a projectile.
All new at noon, a suspected bank robber gets much more than he bargained for in Missouri. The bank's president stepped up to protect not only money, but his employees. Talia Kaplan has more on the foiled burglary.
Take a look at this surveillance video. A man wearing a mask approached a teller at People's Bank and Trust in Troy, Missouri. Police say he demanded...
And it's my job to protect my people. So I just did my job.
Talia Kaplan with that story. The suspect remains behind bars this afternoon on a $50,000 bond.
Well, if you haven't seen this video, you're about to, and it's great. A 4-year-old girl from Colorado will be happy when the election is all over. So will most other Americans. That's because an NPR broadcast about the presidential election literally brought her to tears.
Just because I'm tired of Barack Obama and Mitt Romney.
That's why you're crying? Oh, it'll be over soon, Abby. Okay? The election will be over soon, okay?
Okay.
Oh.
Did you catch that, Bronco Obama? I thought that's cute. It's now gone viral. It really has. NPR, by the way, actually sent her an apology note when they saw the video. They said the campaign's gone on long enough for us too. Let's just keep telling ourselves only a few more days. Can't come soon enough, can it? Not even a national election could stand in the way of Republican vice presidential hopeful Paul Ryan's Halloween plans. Governor Mitt Romney's running mate was out last night trick-or-treating with his family in Janesville, Wisconsin. His daughter dressed up as Katy Perry and his sons dressed as spooky goblins. Ryan himself a little less scary, wearing his red Wisconsin jacket and Badger hat. He says his kids follow the same candy snagging route he took as a young boy.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, an explosive situation literally on morning TV leads to a Halloween prank gone wrong.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, we blew up the whole thing.
Turns out too much gas led to this accident on live TV in Indiana. The demonstration should have shown how a small explosion can carve a pumpkin. Here's how it was supposed to go. The pre-cut eyes, nose, and mouth of the pumpkin were to be filled with chemical formula. Once the gas built up inside the pumpkin, all the pieces were supposed to pop out, but there you see it. It's just a goner. Looks like the anchor there might have gotten a little to the eye, but luckily no injuries reported there. My goodness.
I had a chemistry professor once in high school who did the same thing, singed his eyebrows right in front of the class.
It looks like Bill Nye the
Everybody
Science
was
Guy.
fine, though.
He said, don't try this at home.
Bill Nye gone wrong,
Yeah.
really is what it is. Well, I know a lot of folks were in the Halloween spirit thanks to the cooler temperatures, and more of it's in the forecast, so details on that coming up next.
Also ahead at noon, a special way for some children to spend Halloween, watching their favorite superheroes perform some very special deeds. We'll explain why they're rappelling off buildings coming up. Well, you never know what kids will bring home from school, but one thing you don't want is head lice. If that does happen, research shows that a new head lice treatment could be the solution. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine looked at over 700 patients and found 95% were lice-free after just one dose of a lotion containing ivermectin. I hope I said that correctly. The medication is currently prescribed in pill form to treat some parasites.
Hypnosis could help women with hot flashes during menopause. Researchers at Baylor University looked at more than 180 women. They found hypnotic relaxation therapy reduced hot flashes up to 80%. The women also had less anxiety and depression. Previous studies show hypnosis can also help lower hot flashes in breast cancer survivors.
Turning our attention to the weather, of course, folks up north still dealing with the aftermath of Sandy, but we've had some very nice weather here on our end.
Absolutely. Highs over the weekend forecast around 83.
Thank you, Katie. We continue to follow breaking news out of Pennsylvania at noon. Former Penn State University President Graham Spanier faces several counts of perjury, conspiracy, and child endangerment.
This is all following the Jerry Sandusky sex abuse trial last year. Spanier was forced to resign from Penn State after 16 years as the university's president. Sandusky was convicted of abuse and is in a Pennsylvania state prison. He plans to appeal his conviction. We'll be right back.
It seems that almost everybody is continually on and off some type of diet, and there's so many out there to choose from. Well, with that in mind, start eating better without giving up the, ooh, it's so good.
Coming up here on Wink News at 5, we are taking you to a local pizza shop that is creating a bit of a stir with its latest pie. Now, we can't reveal it to you now. You'll have to check in with us at 5 o'clock to see, but here's a hint. If it swims, crawls, or slithers through the Everglades, it is on this pizza. You'll see it and we'll taste it at 5. Then later at 6, saving you big time at the grocery store. Here's a preview.
Free groceries. That's right, free groceries. How does that sound? Tonight at 6 from Wink News Now, we show you how it's done. Just look at all this food. It should cost you this. We'll show you how to get it for this. Tonight at 6, go from this to this. Wink News shows you how.
And we want to take you to breaking news near San Antonio, Texas. This is in San Marcos between San Antonio and Austin. A small plane crash outside of San Marcos, Texas has killed at least one person, we are learning. The pilot believed to be a 66-year-old man from North Dakota.
According to local media there, that's KENS. The only person on board was the pilot. He has been the one confirmed dead as of 6:30 this morning. Final weather check.
All right, let's get a check now. That 7-day forecast. If you were craving those fall-like temperatures to stick around, well, indeed, Mother Nature, that's exactly what she'll bring you. So today, a few isolated showers thanks to a passing cold front that will basically just be reinforcing these cooler and drier temperatures. Mostly sunny tomorrow, heading into the weekend. Gorgeous weather in store. You can expect highs around 83 over the weekend.
All right, Katie, thank you, and thank you for joining us. We're back live at 4.
Have a great afternoon.